And we're on the line this morning with an interesting guest. This is Shelby Stoddard. She spent some time living here in PA. Were you ever in Indiana County, Shelby?
I don't believe I was, actually.
Well, why not?
I don't know. I'm going to have to visit, I guess.
Shelby is a nurse practitioner in Pocatello, Idaho, who joins us this morning. And our conversation is brought to you by Marcus & Mack, voted best personal injury law firm in the Best of Indiana County contest. Marcus & Mack, a law firm representing injured people. And we didn't just call Shelby out of the blue and say, hey, Shelby, tell us what's going on in your life today. We have a very serious topic, actually, to discuss with you today. 1/3 of U.S. nurses plan to quit their profession. Boy, that pandemic really did a number on the nursing profession, didn't it, Shelby?
It did. It was unfortunate that it had to, come to that. But I think what happened was we've had these issues in the past, with that staffing and stress, work-related stress, burnout, and high patient loads. And I feel like the pandemic just brought that to light.
Yeah, all of that stuff came together, and the pandemic just absolutely knocked the nursing profession down, but thankfully not out. There are great renewed efforts here in Pennsylvania to help people enter the nursing field. I don't think, Shelby, people realize what a really, really difficult job it is. Nursing is extremely detailed, isn't it?
It is extremely detailed, and you're taking care of a patient in their most vulnerable time. And so, there are some people that aren't really used to receiving help or now dependent on someone else that they don't know. And so there is a lot of care and a lot of stress and a lot of resources that go into that. And so when you don't have those things to be able to do that for your patient, it's also really hurts our nurses' hearts when you can't do that. So
yeah. When we look at statistics, obviously the numbers aren't good. We're up 7 percentage points in the number of people who will be leaving the profession over 2021 when the pandemic began. And 36% of the nurses plan to continue working in the sector, but they may change workplaces because of their perceived stresses there. Shelby, what are some of the things that we can do to keep people in the profession, but also to really give them the idea of how rewarding it is for those who are considering getting into the profession of nursing?
So nursing is definitely very rewarding, and there's very many different avenues that you can do. You don't have to be in the hospital, but obviously that's where the shortages are taking place at this point. Not only hospitals, but nursing homes, taking care of our elderly patients as well. And so I think as we bring these to light and we get help from our major resources like the American Nurses Association is doing a lot for frontline nurses and nurses in nursing homes and hospitals to help the corporate be able to navigate the resources needed to take care of patients and the demands, and kind of working together, things will get better.
We think about the stresses, and it's hard to quantify it. Would it serve us to think about it in terms of number of patients in a course in the course of a day that a nurse is having to take care of, or what would be a good way for us to get a better grip on what some of those issues are?
I would say numbers of patients you're taking care of, but also the what we call the acuity in the nursing sector is the acuity of like how long it takes to take care of a patient, what's going on with the patient, why are they there, and how long does it take to do one task for them, and if they require many tasks. So the acuity, the higher the needs of the patient, obviously it takes longer to do, so you need more resources.
Is the structure of the nursing profession what it should be? In other words, we have nurses who are RNs, we have nurses who specialize in this or that. We have hospital structures built around them so that they've got supervisors, they've got specialists who come in and help them in one way or another. Is that where it needs to be to keep them and to help them ease their stresses?
I feel like that is one of our strongest attributes is in the nursing profession. Obviously, there's always room for growth and improvement, and that's what what's great about the American Nurse Association is that they recognize that and are always coming up with programs or working with legislators or your corporate big corporations to help make that better.
When we hear of advances, by the way, we're talking with Shelby Stoddard. She's a nurse practitioner from Pocatello, Idaho. We're talking about how difficult it is to be in the nursing profession. But when we hear of advances in the medical field, they are generally great and just world-changing things that come about, treatments and medicines and procedures, and they're wonderful. But they do require those who are actually practicing and in the nursing profession, it requires you to maybe go through another re-education process. That can't help the stresses, can it?
No, it can't help the stresses. It puts more stress on those that are going to be performing those, duties. But again, talking and coming up with a plan before just implementing something is important. And I feel nurses, if they're in the lead in those situations, that those things are better taken care of.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk to those who are considering joining the nursing profession, those who are thinking about, here we come to the end of high school graduation, and the nursing profession certainly is something that many of them are considering. I know when we have guests from the high school ranks, many of our students who come in and visit with us here in Indiana in the morning talk about going into nursing here at our local university, IUP, or at some other school. What are the things that people getting into the profession would need to know to make this a better and maybe a more enjoyable work environment for them?
I think knowing that they are going to be taking care of patients in their most vulnerable time, and having compassion for that time is important. And then learning how to ask for what they need to help take care of the patient. So speaking up and not just going with someone says this or that, this is how you do it. If it's something that they really need or want, that learning how to speak up, it would be really beneficial.
Well, Shelby, you've mentioned a couple of times during our visit here this morning a particular organization, the Nurses Association. Tell me that again, because I assume that that's a good place for people considering the field to start.
Yeah, so American Nurses Association, so it's ANA.org. It's they do so many things for programs for nurses getting started, nurses having problems, needing solutions. There's huge collaboration and camaraderie within that organization, and there's also sub-organizations from that where you can find if you need, but it's a great place to start.
Well, we need to stop the tide of people who want to leave the profession and get more people into it. Shelby Stoddard, thanks so much for visiting with us today.
You're welcome. Take care.
Have a wonderful day.
You
It is
too.
the voice of Indiana County, WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, and WCCSradio.com.